Welcome to the show, guys. And again, another shooting. Seems like we just can't get used to just seeing shootings. But that's the society we live in right now. The biggest problem that I see, aside from the actual shooting, the act of just shooting innocent people, is the fact that we as a society we are being manipulated. And what do I mean by that? We were being so manipulated. Now that we look at a shooting, we can just say, hey, this was the fault of guns, too many guns. Republicans are all about guns, blah, 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 blah. Or we look at the other side of that. Well, it's not the guns, blah, blah, blah. The guns can't just do it by themselves. And, they just need the help that they need. But see, here's the thing though. Two things can be true at the same time. It could also be guns are just way too available. And it could also be that people are just mentally ill. That's why I'm saying we're being manipulated too much. Being manipulated to when we hear about those shootings, we just revert to some talking point. We just go either left or right. We don't think about, okay, is it really the guns? Can guns just because guns are so available, things like that just are going to keep happening? Or in this society, do we have a massive problem of just people feeling like there's nothing to live for anymore? Now, whether you want to say it's a mental issue, to me, anybody that can just pick up a gun and just go shoot innocent people, like if you have an agenda for whatever reason, they don't agree with your beliefs, they don't agree with your creed or political views or the way you choose to live your life, then you're going to go just inflict the most amount of pain on this specific group. I still don't support it, will never support it. But it's even worse when people just see what's happening in our society and deem necessary to just take people's lives and see people's lives as literally nothing. We're talking about kids at a mass that are being gunned down for no reason. There's absolutely no reason. So we are being manipulated every time we see videos like this. It just aches our hearts and we feel very, very bad about it. And tomorrow we move on. And tomorrow's going to be another one. Tomorrow's going to be another one. The next is going to be another one. Next week's going to be another one. Next month's going to be another one. But I think it's time right now, when you look at a video like this, you look at the families that are grieving. You look at the people who have lost loved ones. I'm going to play the video in a minute, but I wanted to start with this. I dropped my kids off today to the bus. They got on the bus. My son waved goodbye, and my daughter blew me a kiss. Even trying to put myself in the shoes of those people who just lost their kids. I believe an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old just got killed. 17 others are hurt or injured, and 14 of them are kids. I think until we realize that politics or people with different agendas are just manipulating us, I certainly don't put myself in that boat. And start seeing that whenever somebody picks up a gun and inflict pain on somebody else, that could be one of ours, and imagine the pain that we'll be feeling, then I think we'll stop thinking about this whole thing as, left and right, Republicans or Democrats or whatever. Start seeing it for our society has a mental illness. Guns cannot just pick themselves up and start shooting people. I've never seen it. I don't think we'll ever see it. And just because you're mentally ill does not necessarily mean you're going to go pick up a gun and go shoot up a school, shoot up a church, shoot up a grocery store, shoot up a crowd, run a car into a crowd. Just because you're mentally ill. I think it's more than that. But we cannot just take the easy way out, the lazy way out, and just say like, well, people were just mentally ill. Well, there were just too many guns around. I have guns. My neighbors have guns. I know a lot of people with guns. They've never done anything like that. Crazy, right? But not really. We need to think a little bit deeper. And we need to leave outside noises out. And we need to try to understand. And if you have to put yourself in the shoes of the people who just lost their loved ones, the kids just got hurt, do that. Perhaps that's when we're going to find our humanity until we can do something. Let's check out this video if you haven't seen it.
Earlier today, just before 8:30 a.m., our city experienced an unthinkable tragedy. Minneapolis police officers responded to a report of a shooting at a mass that was happening at the Annunciation Roman Catholic Church on the block behind me. This worship service was marking the first week of school for children that are attending the Annunciation Catholic School. During the Mass, a gunman approached on the outside on the side of the building and began firing a rifle through the church windows towards the children sitting in the pews at the Mass. Shooting through the windows, he struck children and worshipers that were inside the building. The shooter was armed with a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol. This was a deliberate act of violence against innocent children and other people worshiping. The sheer cruelty and cowardice of firing into a church full of children is absolutely incomprehensible. Police officers from the Minneapolis Police Department immediately responded, entered the church, and attempted to provide first aid and rescue some of the children that were hiding throughout the building, while other first responders came and EMS responded to rush victims to nearby hospitals. 2 young children, ages 8 and 10, were killed where they sat in the pews. Their parents have been notified.
Their parents have been notified. Now, again, remember what I told you about try to put yourself in the shoes of those people who have just lost their loved ones. And again, if that's how you have to do it to understand what's happening here, that's what you got to do. Because like to me, it makes absolutely no sense. I cannot understand. I can't put myself in the mind of somebody who would commit such crime. I just can't. To go and kill innocent people, let alone kids, at a church. You guys ever think about like what it would take for somebody to do that? Or even ask yourself, what would it take you to be in a position where you find yourself with 3 weapons on you, a handgun, a shotgun, and a rifle, shooting up a church? What would it take you to do something like that? Or is there anything even? I hope for the sake of just sanity, the answer is nothing. Like if it's something that did something bad to one of your kids, maybe you take it up to them just one-on-one. But the idea of just like shooting a whole bunch of innocent people, you guys got to think a little bit more than that and stop just taking the easy way out, the lazy way out, and just saying, well, like the Republicans, like the government has to pass new laws and then stuff. Okay, again and again, you've heard it before. If it wasn't weapons, that person would have used some sort of explosive device. If it wasn't that, they would have used some sort of machete or something, start knifing people, stabbing people. That happened not that long ago. Some guy was just like stabbing people at Walmart, and a good Samaritan with a gun just, told him if he doesn't stop, he's going to shoot him. He pointed a gun at him and he stopped. So you really understand guns? The whole talking point, guns are the issues. Now, I'm not telling you it's not part of the problem. I don't think anybody should have a gun. I think the gun laws perhaps should be a little bit stricter or much stricter. I'm not going to down that hill. You know what I mean? Having a gun is a dangerous weapon. So you need to be responsible. I get that. But the idea that guns are the sole problem, or you move on the other side as just mental illness, people are just sick. Again, there are a lot of sick people, a lot of mental ill people. We have a lot of them in this country. They're not shooting up places every single day for the amount that we have. So that brings us to what? Again, it sounds cliche. It sounds however you want to make it sound. We got to find our humanity. What can you do? Here's the question. I'm posing the question to you. What can you do? Well, within your community, within your neighborhood, be more involved. I really think the answer could be as simple as just be more involved. Now, what does that look like? Being more involved looks like this. You know your neighbor here. You never talk to your neighbor. Maybe instead of just saying hi from a distance, every once in a while, go to him, go to her. How's your day going? How's everything going? How's the family? Be a little bit more inquisitive. Be a little bit more involved. Be a little bit of a community. I can guarantee you, anybody, that person who just shot up that mass and killed those kids and injured 17 others, I can guarantee you there is a level of just loneliness, a level of just hopelessness in his life. I understand that he leaves notes as to why he did what he did. Not that there's ever going to be any justification for it, but he talked about, he's not well and all that jazz. Again, all those are, whether they're true or not, again, that's where, again, I cannot put myself in his head. I cannot comprehend what he just did. And he took his own life. He's a coward. But what can we do? If we can't control people from doing that, is there something that we can do at least to mitigate or to reduce the amount of those shootings that we see, to be more at peace when our kids go to school, when we put our kids in the bus and we just wave goodbye and hope that we're going to see them again? That's such a to me, like, as I'm talking about this, it's just I don't know, man. It's just eating me. My kids are still at school right now, and they're gonna be here very soon. We got to be better. I keep saying that. It sounds very very simple. It sounds very cliche at times. It sounds very well. Sure, we got to be better. Duh. But what are you doing? It's a duh question. Are you one of those just pointing the fingers at the left and at the right and in the middle instead of yourself? What are you doing? I know what I'm doing. I'm talking about it right now. And I'm talking to my neighbors, I'm talking on my church, and just be more inquisitive, be more involved, show more of an interest, appreciate each other more, love on each other more. Hey, listen, we've been trying the other things. Let's try this one and see what we get. Condolences to all the people who have lost loved ones and who got hurt, and the ones that will be traumatized. Think about that. Kids are going to be traumatized to have been through a situation like that. How do those kids go to school and then feel like they're safe going forward? I don't know, man. I talk about CSA and SA. I fancy myself an advocate for that. I'm writing my book on it. But every once in a while, I'm going to keep responding to those. And hopefully one day, people will just be more awake and just listen to somebody like myself speaking about it like this. I'm not taking a side. I'm not speaking for Republicans or Democrats. I'm speaking for truth and for a better future for us now and for our children. So we can do better. Let's try to do better. Peace. Hey, yeah, you. Thank you for supporting the channel. Like, subscribe, and share it. Help me spread the word.